talked about adding and subtracting monomials. And we said we were able to add or subtract if they were like terms. And like terms meant same variables with the same exponents. If the variables or exponents didn't match, then we couldn't combine them. Today we're going to look at multiplying with our monomials. And multiplying we can actually do no matter what. So when we work through that, we are going to use the product rule for our exponents. So I'm going to do an example with numbers first, and then we'll write the rule. If I said x squared times x to the third, what do I mean when I say x squared?
X times itself.
X squared means x times x. Okay, so x to the third means you have 3 x's. So when I look at that, how many x's do we really have? 5, so it becomes x to the fifth. So the rule, can you tell me what we did with those exponents to get 5? You add them. So if you have x to the a times x to the b, you get x to the a plus b power. We're going to add those exponents together when we're multiplying. The x doesn't change, just the exponent. All right, so let's try a few. If I say x to the fourth times x to the second, what does that become? X to the 6. 4 plus 2 is 6. A to the fourth times a. If there's not an exponent written, what do we assume? So it becomes a to the fifth. 4 plus 1 is 5. Last one, w to the fifth times w to the ninth would become w to the 14th. So multiplying, we add exponents. When we have coefficients, numbers in front, we multiply those numbers just like normal, and then to multiply the variables, you add your exponents. So if I look at number 20, 3x to the third times 7x squared. So we take 3 times 7, and then x to the third times x to the second would be x to the fifth. Let's look at, I'm going to go to 23. So if I multiply these, -6 times 4, -24. Now we do the a's. I have an a times an a to the third. What would that become? A to the fourth. We have 1 a in the first one, 3 in the second one, so 4 altogether. With the b's, we have 2 b's in the first and 6 in the second, so it's b to the 8th power. Okay, I want you guys to take a couple minutes and try 21, 22, 24, 25. Right, so 21, we multiply the coefficients, so -8 times 2 is -16. For the m's, we add the exponents, so m to the 7th times m to the 3rd would be m to the 10th. 22, 9 times 3 is 27. This is x to the first times x to the 7th, so 1 plus 7 is 8. 24, -2 times -9 is +18. P to the 11, Q to the 7, R to the 3rd, and 25 this one, x to the y to the, are those okay? Alright, so 26, we're doing the same thing, but we have more terms now. So it's still the same idea. We have to multiply all of these coefficients together. So 5 times negative 3 times 4. And then we add all of these exponents. So 1y and 4y's and 7y's would be y to the 12. What would my coefficient be? This is a 1, this is an 8, and this is a negative. So when I multiply it becomes negative 8. Okay, look at the ends. We have 1m here, 2 here, and 1 here. So m to the 4. Ends, we have 1, 1, and 9. So n to the 12. Alright, I'm just going to give you guys a few minutes and I want you to see how many of the next ones you can do. I want to come around and kind of check, make sure we're doing. Let's see how we did. So the first one, we have a negative 4 times the 7, so negative 28. C to the third, and C to the first, and C to the fourth, C to the 8, and D to the 4th. Would it matter if you put negative 28, D to the 4th, C to the 8th? No. When you're multiplying, order doesn't matter. So if you flip them, it's not a big deal, as long as you have the exponents correct. So 29, 9 times 5 is 45. P times P squared would be P to the third. Q times Q to the fourth is Q to the fifth. 30. 4 times 12 is 48. X to the fifth times x cubed is x to the eighth. Y times y to the eighth, so 1 plus 8 is 9. 31. Negative 6 times negative 2 is positive 12. G times g to the third would be g to the fourth. H to the ninth times h is h to the 10th. How are we doing on them? You guys getting them? Alright, does it change anything when I start throwing in some fractions? No, we're still just multiplying. So negative 24 times 1/3 is what? X squared times x would be x to the y times y to the second. Right, 33. 16 times 5 over 4. R times r to the fifth and q squared. Or you could have q squared r to the sixth. Order doesn't matter. And the last one of these, 1/3 times 2 times negative 15. X times x to the 7th would be x to the 8th. And y to the third times y is y to the 4th. Are there any questions on those? The last 4 on here are review from yesterday combined with what we are doing today. So let's take a look at 35. If I want to work this problem, order of operations, do I have to start where? Where does order of operations say we begin? Yeah, we have to do the multiplication before we can add and subtract. So when I look at this, the first thing I'm going to have to do is multiply those together. So we get 6x to the 9, y to the 4th, plus x to the y to the 4th. Didn't we notice they both have x to the 9th, y to the 4th? So what does that mean? They're like terms, we can add them together. When we add, remember we add the numbers, so 6 plus 5 is 11, but the variable part does not change. So it's 11x to the 9th, y to the 4th. Right, so 36. First, order of operations says we have to do the multiplication. So multiply those two. Negative 12, a to the 5th, b to the 7th. Okay. Plus negative 7, a to the 5th, b to the 7th. Then we check if they're like terms. If they aren't like terms, can we do anything? No, and that would be our answer. But both of these have a to the 5th, b to the 7th, so we can combine them. So we get negative 19. A to the 5th, b to the 7th. Alright, you guys try 37, 38. If we do okay with those, then I'm done for today. So the first one, you can't change that first term, so it's just 17 m to the 6th n to the 11th minus 5 times 4 is 20 m 5 plus 1 is 6 n to the 11th. When you put these together, remember, you subtract the numbers, the variables do not change. So it should not be m to the 12th and n to the 22nd. You're not adding those exponents there. When you multiply, you add exponents. When you are adding or subtracting, you just combine the coefficients. And then 38, we get c to the d to the minus 27 c to the 6. So 32 minus 27 is 5. And the c to the 8, d to the 5th does not change. Okay, so I am going to give you back your handout from yesterday, and today you need to finish it. I also want you to look. I checked the top ones. If I marked any wrong, I want you